Yo! A fake work of real life representing an RBG and MP3. Hi there, I'm Pixel. Now, what am I here for today? At least for today on this video, I want to talk about something that's bothering me. It's giving me a little bit of a rustle in the old jimmies, if I say so myself. There's this YouTuber named DeFranc, as many of you, if not all of you, do know, been around years upon years over the decade, and I've been watching him for 90% of that decade. Let's put it this way. Normally, Phil cultivates a very nice back and forth dual-sided chat about the things he discusses. News, common events, stories. He goes over it, he asks for the feedback, and then people really feedback, give in. He was one of those early community creators that's gone on to make the money off the back of the community in the best way possible because we're sitting on his back kind of feeding it down. Now, this conversation is something I'm not necessarily partial to on any given day, and this isn't a given day, which is why I'm partial to it. But what am I partial to? Well, let's take a look at that.
News and controversy around Katie Couric and her interview with Ruth Bader Ginsburg back in...
Okay, Katie Couric, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, 2016? 2016, let's fucking talk about it.
That is because in an excerpt from her upcoming book, because of course that's why we're hearing about it now. She said that she asked Ginsburg about her thoughts on athletes like Colin Kaepernick kneeling for the national anthem. In the final story published for Yahoo News, Couric wrote that Ginsburg said, "I think it's really dumb of them. Would I arrest them for doing it? No. I think it's dumb and disrespectful. I would have the same answer if you asked me about flag burning. I think it's a terrible thing to do, but I wouldn't lock a person up for doing it. I would point out how ridiculous it seems to me to do such an act." But
okay, let's fucking pause there for half a second just so I can walk you through my thought process here and why this is just bothering me. Check this out. Would I arrest them for doing it? No. I think it's dumb. Same answer, but I wouldn't lock up a person for it. It's ridiculous to do such an act. She disapproves of the act itself, but would not actually impinge upon the justice of it. Okay.
Also, there was apparently...
By the way, am I out of line on that? She disapproves, but it's one of those things that's like, it's the free speech and the way that free speech should be used. I believe that much, and I can understand why people have an idea about free speech, but that's what she posted. We can say on the headlines, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, guess the fuck what? She disapproves, but says, go ahead and do it if you want. Be stupid.
a lot more to the quote, with Couric reportedly writing that Ginsburg
a lot more to the quote. So let's go in this.
Ginsburg also said that this form of protest showed a, quote, contempt for a government that has made it possible for their parents and grandparents to live a decent life, which they probably could not have lived in the places they came from. As they became older, they realized that this was youthful folly. That's why education is important.
Okay, now right there is where I just fucking paused for a second, and if you don't mind, I want you to pause with me too. Okay, let's actually read what the fuck is being said here. The protests show contempt for a government that made it possible for your parents and grandparents to live a decent life. That's true and false, but still kind of there. Yes, there is a contempt, because if you view that the government is doing something wrong, if you view that the government is not fully representing you, then let's just, am I fucking, define contempt. Like, I gotta check everything, am I wrong? The feeling that a person or thing is beneath consideration, worthless, or deserving scorn. In many cases, when people were talking about Black Lives Matter and the treatment of Black life overall, yes, I get it, and that is contempt. She's on the market here. They think that the government is deserving of contempt. And then the other part there is that made it possible for their parents and grandparents to live a decent life. Also true. Now, do we know if it's entirely true, like true to the 100%? Who knows? Some people probably came from the poverty that was born out of the American government, as it is in many color irrespective. Many times, don't give anybody any money and they're gonna have a hard time growing up. Now, am I wrong about this? Because that's the other part. If I'm saying wrong stuff, please, but then detail it out in the way that I am right now. Here's what you said. Here's what I don't get about it. I don't get why this changes the meaning of what she has already said. In my opinion, it falls right in line. She thinks that the act is contemptuous. She doesn't approve of the act, but you have your rights, right?
Tempt for a government that has made it possible for their parents and grandparents to live a decent life, which they probably could not have lived.
Which they probably could not have lived in the places they came from. Now, to me, that means that the grandparents here, parents and or grandparents, lived in a possibly difficult country. Let's say there are a couple in the US. Oh wait, the US isn't a country. Gosh, why does it feel like some places kind of are, you know? They just ignore everything else that happens. But hey, don't mind me. But there are other places in the world, yes, that also, countries, actual countries, not places that believe and act like they're their own country, really do have this issue. That's also true. Let's say that somebody, if you examine a child who's growing up in America and a child who's growing up in Sri Lanka, don't fucking tell me that we have the same access here. It's bullshit. Makes no fucking sense. What? She's in line. Right? If you're in a different country and you don't have access to the things that your grandparents and parents got you in the US, guess what? You don't have access. You're out. Did my mouth stop moving again? I did. Give me 1 second. I'm going to blank screen myself for a half a moment. Get my fucking mouth back. As you can tell, my Santene struggles a bit. But okay, so I've done that a little bit. We got to move on. And then as they became older, they realized that this was useful folly, and that's why education is important. So here's the part of the quote that makes zero sense to me, and the part that I'm really going to harp in on. As they became older, they realized that this was useful folly. So, fuck. I don't have my Demo Pro working right now. As they became older, they realized that when you have such unqualified words directly following an ellipsis within a quote that may be containing 3 or 4 additional sentences of exposition, this statement makes no sense. Who are they? Who are they? What is that? And how youthful are we? Let's examine it from the grandparents' perspective. The grandparents were in Sri Lanka. And they said, yo, my children probably won't get the same access over here as they may in the US, land of the free, home of the brave, also home of not starving or getting shot in the street, possibly. Then again, another asterisk on that, I know what I'm saying. As they became older, they realized that this was youthful folly. The grandparents realized that coming to America and raising their family successfully so that it lasts at least 1 more generation, if not 2, such that that generation produces a football player who makes millions of dollars and is able to make a societal statement. Yeah, that's some youthful folly right there. That's why education is important. We're not talking about the education in Sri Lanka. We must be talking about it in the US. So the parents. Let's say the parents were in Sri Lanka. Same thing. And then let's say we're talking about Colin Kaepernick and the people who were protesting. As they became older, they realized that that statement does not make sense if we are talking about the person kneeling. It doesn't. So you see why? What is this statement? My first question is, what does the statement, 1, fundamentally change about what we already know, her stance and relationship towards the protests? And then 2, literally, word for word, what is this quote saying? What is this quote saying? As an English speaker, as somebody who is, I believe, rather intelligent, I don't get it. And then, of course, story goes on.
In the places they came from. As they
Yeah.
became older, they realized that this was youthful folly.
Yeah.
That's why education is important.
Yeah.
Kirk now saying that she
Also, that last little stinger, education is always important, but then again, whose education are we talking about? If it's US one, then what was youthful folly? Because right now, the protests aren't youthful folly. He's fucking dealing with them right now. Oh my god, my mouth. I'm gonna just take that out in post. I'm gonna just take that out in post. Give me a second here. Okay, so I'm gonna restore my mouth one more time. If my mouth goes off because I turn my head a fair amount, then I do apologize, but I will just continue with no mouth. But, so once again, this youthful folly can't apply to the football players. They are one youthful-ish, but relatively they're still living it out, so it's current for them. Youthful folly for the parents. The parents aren't protesting, and if the parents were immigrants, the youthful folly is past. They've had children already. What's happened? And for the grandparents, it's the same issue as the parents. Now,
struggled on her decision to cut that part out. The Post saying that
this is my big thing. Done in an effort to protect what's protecting. Like, what is being protected? And this is where I'm actually going to leave and show you some of the research that I did on my own. We came to this. Katie Couric says she edited the quote. This is from Rogue Rocket Phil's own site. Upcoming book, same thing. Order to Protect, same thing. Interviewed, yep, same thing. Same quote, same that. Lost sleep making the choice. And then may have been confused by the subject. Everybody is making a statement like they know what the subject means, but so far nobody is actually giving an interpretation or saying why they're angry. Like, indefensible for Katie Couric to withhold this from the public. What's this? One sentence? Katie Couric essentially destroyed her legacy with this revelation. What is this? Actually, since I'm a fucking VTuber, I need to like manually change my face. This one I'm doing intentionally. Give me one fucking moment. Yeah, bring me back. Bring me back. What the fuck is your fucking issue? I don't mind the bottom of my mouth. I haven't fixed my goddamn model, you piece of shit. Look somewhere else. Look at the screen. What the fuck is going on? What are you doing? How is it destroyed? Why? Let's look at the next one. Ginsburg, Couric, edited kneeling to protect her book. Wait, to protect her book? You're supposed to read that and then get angrier. News sites suck. To protect, stunning, blasted, Fox News. If anybody's gonna rip up some random ass fucking shit to mix up, it's gonna be Fox News, okay? Hey, I don't care. So, same thing. Intense backlash, stunning admission. Going there. Athletes. Contempt for a government. Conflicted. Big RGB fan.
Breaking tonight, eyebrow
Shut the fuck up. Not the role of a journalist. Complain about distrust of the media. Rigging interviews to make liberals look good. What about her? What about her disagreeing with the protests that the fucking conservatives disagreed with? What is the what? Please, because if I'm missing this, then I need to know. Okay, I'm gonna change my face back because I can't keep on being this angry forever. But I gotta tell you, I need to know, because otherwise, what are we talking about? What's the issue? So Fox News can't. I don't care. I don't know how to do the inspect element to get rid of this, so I wanted to do this one. No clue. Athletes made it possible. Whoa. Okay, so Yahoo. Holy shit. Let's take a look at Yahoo right here. The athletes showed contempt for those who made it possible for their parents and grandparents. This right here. I'm actually so glad I didn't read this article. I just opened up a couple and then started filming. This is off the dome piece. This right here shows you what I could... Okay, so if Katie Couric released her piece and it said this, that I can understand is a little bit of a journalistic issue, because you see, this may be a little bit surprising, but if Katie Couric had reported that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was said that it was showing contempt, the athletes were showing contempt for those who made it possible for their parents and grandparents, that's different than saying they show contempt for the government that made it possible. When they say those who made it possible, any normal person who hears that thinks those who made it possible, like mothers and fathers and sisters and supportive communities. Fuck that! That causes outrage. That is changing the actual quotes. That is painting a shade actively different from what came before. That makes sense, right? I could see being angry over that. Yahoo News, you're already in a piece of shit state. Former Today anchor, edit it out. Then I think it's really dumb of them. That's fine. Would I arrest? Okay, same thing. Same thing. Kirk then asked, yep, yes, they want to be stupid, yep. There's no law that prevents them. She's... Okay. In a new, edited out another of her responses. Showing contempt for a government, by the way. What a fucking piece of shit way to drop in a goddamn fucking quote. Sorry, I hate when people do that. It jeopardizes English. I really fucking hate you that way. Which they could not have lived in places they came from. And then once again, even here, they report it with this ellipsis. Tell me in the comments if you watch this video and you take nothing else from it, parse this fucking sentence and tell me word for word and or phrase for phrase linked together how you can read it and make a cogent statement out of it. Just do it. And when I say cogent, I mean it relates to the other statement. We have an identifier for they, this, that's. I know that's why education, but we need specificity. Saying Ginsburg had misspoken, I don't get it. Because if the quote was Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, if they want to be stupid, blah 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 blah. Of course, that's just exaggeration. I support them fully. If that was like the sentence that got left out, once again, that makes sense. That makes sense. But it's not. So, last thing I'm going to go on here, because I actually went through and fucking watched the clip.
When they do feel about San Francisco 49ers player Colin Kaepernick
Speed this shit up.
and other NFL players who have dumb and disrespectful.
She says it very slowly. She's a very sweet old woman.
The same,
Shiny she
I would
is.
have the same answer if you asked me about flag burning.
Yeah, by the way,
I think it's a terrible thing to do,
It may sound very strange,
but I wouldn't lock a person up.
but every once in a while, like if an
doing
old
it.
person was made into
I
like a
would
towel of
point out
existence, I would dry
how
myself with
ridiculous
that thing
it
after
seems to
taking
me
a very nice bath.
To do such
Now I
an
don't
act.
take baths, so obviously I would never have to get. I would
But
never
it's
get a
a-
chance to use the
it's
old person towel
dangerous
in the shower. But if I could have the
to
towel
arrest
with the hang,
people for
just look how soft she is. Put
For-
some
for
fucking
conduct
burn on
that-
it, the absorbency.
is not doesn't jeopardize the health or well-being of other people. It's a symbol they're engaged in.
But when it comes to these football players, you may find
By the way, if you were listening to her, which I hope you were, because I were, I've already listened to it. That right there is the other part that gets me. We just watched it in real time. She slowly spat out those fucking words like it was all the time she had in the world. Why? Because at that age, it really is. But here's the only point where you could have caught, right? Right from the end.
but when it
Right there. Is that where she supposedly said it shows contempt for the government? Because so far, if we listen to what she says right before it,
arrest people for conduct that is not doesn't jeopardize the health or well-being of other people. It's a symbol they're engaged in. But when
it's something that doesn't jeopardize the health and wellness of other people. It's a symbol. This is still her going back and saying, regardless of the contempt, it's not something that I am going to exercise any judicial power against. So, yeah. All in all, with every single one of these, and this is the Yahoo News site, like this is, people keep on saying she wrote it, she wrote it, she wrote it. There's a video of Ruth Bader Ginsburg speaking these words. What is the issue? What's the anger? That is what I don't get. And what I do get, though, is you spending some time and me talking for a bit long. But regardless, if you see the video, tell me what you think, yes, but also tell me why, if you're angry about it, why are you angry about what Ruth Bader Ginsburg said? Because right now, if Katie Couric had said, and then afterwards, Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, you know what? I fucking hate Frito-Lays. That makes sense. She held some big information back. But as of right now, it's like she said, and then Ruth Bader Ginsburg tied her shoes. It's in line with everything else that she had done right before. And yeah, I left it out. Get mad at Katie Couric for leaving something out, but then also, what about what was left out makes it worse? Like, worthy of getting that over. What if she had left something out? What would have been okay to leave in? This is an interview. Interviews get edited every fucking day, every fucking minute. And responses actively, anytime you see a quote that has a brackets in it, parentheses, an ellipse, it's a fucking edited quote. So, once again, the physical world is full of some shit that makes no sense, but luckily enough, this one is about to turn into a 0. I'm signing off, but I might sign on again.